You gotta be cool, calm, collected, look your feel.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about mind bubbles. Now, mind bubbles are not a real thing. That's just a word I invented or a phrase. But we are talking about a tool or a way to use our Google Classroom and other Google tools to have a quick formative assessment or end of class activity, kind of, something new to kind of spice it up. So I want to start by just taking a very quick look at Google Drawings. So actually, I should go back here and share screen. And that's what we want to share. And that's how we know we are now sharing screen, because it goes into space. Okay, so Lana and Lanny, can you guys see my screen now? Okay, perfect. So this obviously is Google Drawings, and it's a basic tool, and sometimes it gets kind of underappreciated because you're looking at it and you're like, what can I do with this? Today we are not going to look at every possibility with Google Drawings, but we will look at a couple. One thing that we will look at doing is under the insert, we'll look at a way that we can use images, and specifically we're going to insert an image from camera. So students can do this with their Chromebooks, with their Chromebook camera, or if you have a photograph that you've saved on your hard drive or something, you can use upload from photo or from computer. Another thing that we will be using a lot, which is where I got the name Mind Bubbles, will be insert shapes, and specifically we're going to look at callouts. Okay, so if I want to start by showing you a couple of examples. All right, first one, this is a pre-made. If I were in maybe a science class or even a history class, you could go either way you wanted. We could give this to students and we could say, all right, students, we've been talking about exploration, or maybe you've been talking about space exploration. I guess it would depend on your perspective, right? And you want to know what kids have learned or thought. So if I look at my Google Classroom, I'm just going to, I'm going to save as a draft. I'm going to take a look over here at my drafts and perspectives of an explorer. So I came in here and you could see I just added from Google Drive this Google drawing, and I set it to make a copy for each student. Gave a few instructions and a title. If I was going all out, I'd put a due date and things like that. But I assigned this. So when I assign this, the teachers now still the owner of that document, but the kids all get their own copy, which allows them to edit that copy and do what they want with it. So let's come back here as if we were a student and we had just received this. So the student will take a look, and up here, what would they think about space exploration? Well, first of all, they have to know who Lewis and Clark are. Maybe you've had that discussion in class, so that would be a way to measure, have the kids been paying attention in class? And I have some further instructions. Help them express, them being Lewis and Clark, 2 facts and 2 questions that they still might have. So this is where we come to insert, shape, and callouts. And for me, I feel like this first and second callout express a fact, because they have the little pointy thing coming out of the guy's mouth, right? So you can make it, and like any image, you can move this around, you can resize it. The little gold dot here, it shows where you can grab, so I can go right to Mr. Lewis's mouth. I mean, so we know he's speaking. Then if I just click in here, what is something, help me out, what is something that Lewis would think about space exploration? This is so fast.
Not fast, fast.
Oh, vast. Vast.
What do you think is fast?
These guys have it easy. Maybe because he's thinking they're just sitting inside a spaceship, they're not hiking, Now, this is kind of cool already, but notice I can resize. I can also do a Control A to select all. I can change my font. I could change the size. I can, make it red text. I can even, let's see here. I can use the different colored background, so I can customize it. And I like that, and also kids like to customize. What's another thing that one of these guys would think? What's that? Oh, it's going in his nose? This is in his nose. Okay, now I'm going to move it. Okay, there we go. That's much more. That's better. All right. So I'm going to insert another one. Let's go again, insert shape, call out. And this time I'm going to use the rounded. And I'm going to let Mr. Clark say something. Notice, even though it points over here, you don't have to be frustrated. You can pull it over, and it'll come from there. What would Mr. Clark say about space exploration, maybe?
How do we measure space?
How do we what?
How do we measure space?
Measure?
How do we measure space?
Oh, I'm sorry. How do you measure space? Good question. Space. So this is a question. So actually, I'm going to change this. I'm going to delete this actually. You notice up here in the instructions I said express 2 facts and 2 questions. So I'm going to say that's a good question. So I'm going to go again to insert shape call out. Now this cloud call out, to me this is a question, because this is like on cartoons when you have like the bubbles or the thoughts coming out. So this might be, how do you measure space? Okay, and again, I'm just gonna change a few things because I can and I like to. He looks like a pretty spicy guy. We'll do that. And notice when I unselect my call out, I lose a lot of options. So if you're looking up there and you're like, hey, I want to change the color or something, select the call out, and then it gives you these other options. I'm going to give him a gold one. How do you measure space? And you get the idea. So this would be something, coming back to the Google Classroom, I could say, all right, I'm going to throw this up here for you guys. This needs to be done before you leave class. And what it gives you is it's going to give you, okay, I know what the kids kind of got out of my lecture or our discussion. I also know what questions they might have if kids come up with the same questions. Now, this one is reflecting on from the perspective of somebody else. But I want to show you, before we still have 7 minutes, I want to show you one more example. Wonder if you were to give an assignment just like this, and I have it again saved up here in my posts. End of class summary. Let me know what you think. Again, make a copy for each student, assign. Yes, I'm assigning it. And they would come up with something like this. This is super blank and it's open. And this is another way, again, to get kids' interest. Now, what we're going to do is we want the kids, notice this is not talking about Lewis and Clark. This one says, please add your picture. And if you wanted to give the out, you could say, or another image, so they could put a cartoon or something. But I find most kids like to put their own picture. And then the two things. So to insert a picture, and that's why I'm standing over here today, I'm just going to go insert image by camera, and okay, so there it is. It shows, I get a little preview up here. If I like it, cool. If I want to try another one, I could take multiple pictures. The one that's highlighted in blue is the one I have selected, and I say insert. So I go like this. I'm going to make it big because I want to have room for my call outs. Now, here's a trick for you. I still have the image selected. I can tell because it's blue. If I right click and go to order, I can say send that to the back, and then the words come on front. Okay, so I have that, and then I could just go, let's insert some call outs, and I might be thinking some things right now. It's like, I'm like, are these guys use this in class this week? I might be thinking that. I am thinking that actually. So I'm like, are you guys gonna be brave and try this? Any feedback's appreciated. Are you going to? Come on. You won't.
Yes.
All right, that's what I like to hear. There you go. So I'm gonna make that huge, and I'm gonna make it red. Why not? Okay, that's cool. And I could change font color if I wanted. That's coming right out of my forehead. I don't really like that, so I'm gonna move it just a little. Oops, move that so it's coming over there. Now it's a thought bubble, not a forehead bubble. And maybe I might insert one more. Again, go to call out, and I'm going to use a statement. This is not a thought, but this is a statement. Put it here, grab my little gold dot, boom. Let's get it off my face. I want to keep my face exposed. Okay, and say, what a nice audience. Because you guys are nice. So I'll just put that up there, and I'm going to find the coolest font possible. Tradewinds looks great. Super huge. But, well, too huge. Just right. And we're going to make that. I'm just showing you some of the options. You know, I want my font to be that color, and my background maybe that color, and boom. Now, I don't know how good my color coordination is. I have all kinds of colors and stuff. But one thing, the reason I wanted to suggest an option like this is because a lot of times students are shy to ask a question or make a statement at the end of class, but they have some really good ideas and things. If you give a kid an option to give it to you digitally like this, first of all, they can personalize it. They enjoy sharing their ideas, and you're going to get feedback from kids who sometimes would make the choice just to be silent at the back of the room. Okay, so I would emphasize, I want to finish here at Google Classroom. When you're using these, make sure that you have, each student will get a copy so that everybody's not on top of each other's assignments, and make a due date. And remember, when you, if I were to edit this, when I'm in here making my due date, you can make not only a date, but you can say time as well. So you could coordinate that with the end of class and say, hey, this is going to show as late if you don't get it done before the end of class. And that's good for kids because they learn to pay attention to detail, to pay attention to deadlines, which is an important skill. And for you as a teacher, if you know the class, the school schedule, you could just get in there, you could zap it out. You can have all of these just scheduled. It's not even on your classroom stream, but then at the end of class, you come up, and you saw how I had them saved. If you create posts, they're just kind of hibernating up here in save posts. So you just go, ooh, boom, let's throw this one out here, and it goes out. And so, you know, the kids don't do it ahead of time. You're prepared. You just throw it up there with 5 minutes to go, and everybody finishes class on time. So are there any questions or comments about what I call it, mind bubbles? Yeah, any questions or comments about mind bubbles? Thank you, sir. And for you, Gary, since you're a math guy, you know, I want to emphasize you could maybe put on your drawing some numbers or symbols or things like that, and have them drag them into correct order to show understanding of things or whatever. You know, so you can obviously modify this. You don't have to always have a picture of a person and then a mind bubble. Any other thoughts or questions before we go? I still have less than 1 minute.
Yeah, we did these
Real quick,
with social studies for political cartoons.
Oh, nice.
They're really cool. Like they just took a historical picture and then put, you know, yeah.
That's a great idea. And did you feel like you got good understanding of what the kids were thinking?
Yeah, it was better than the stick figure drawings that they were doing at the beginning of the year.
An upgrade to stick figures. That's good. Lana, you had a question?
yes, really quick, everyone else probably knows this, but how to do save posts?
Oh, okay. Sure. So if
Save those normal assignments, just have it come at a certain time.
right. So let me share, and so you can see my practice class. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So if I'm making an assignment, I have tons of these. Do this, you know, and I want to set it, you know, due date. It's tomorrow at right before midnight. I've got everything set, my instructions. Now whatever, who I'm going to, whatever. If I want to save this, all I'm going to do.
I'm sorry, can I interrupt for just about 1 minute, please?
Yes.
I feel you for a minute.
Yeah. So I would just go here and go either schedule, and I could schedule when it will come out, or I could go save as draft. I will be right back.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, so I didn't realize you could do the time as well. That's perfect.
But I like that, it's like, I never even think about sticking it, I would just put a text box over it, that's so much better. To do
So
that
how do you
order.
do that? How do you,
So people are like,
how
so
do you
like,
get behind it?
if you have a picture, you
Yeah.
go into, you have to click on the picture, so watch, double click the picture. And then go. in the order.
Sorry.
Go to
Okay.
And then go to-
And I am back. So I'm back here, Lana. So you see you have three choices. You can either assign it right then. If I click schedule, I could say, throw this out at this time, and then it will just appear at the time I have scheduled. So if I knew, for example, my class was going to end at 10, I could say, well, 9:52,
Okay.
schedule that. And then it's in there just hibernating. And then the last option is save it as a draft. And if you save it as a draft, it just hangs out here until you go and send it on.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
No problem. Anybody else have any questions or comments? On a scale, I want some real feedback. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give Mind Bubbles? You're not gonna hurt my feelings. You got to give me a number. Don't be nice.
Give me a number.
Yeah, come on. Don't be nice. 8?
Yeah, that's what I meant too.
I say 9, because it's fun for them to.
Yeah,
Alright.
because
What? What?
you're his sister.
It's a different format.
As always, I think variety is the spice of life. So, if you do this one day, cool. If even if you did like once every 2 weeks, cool. But it gives you another option. And, if you teach the same subject, you build a couple, and then you've got them, you've got the file there. And so one day you just grab it. The one that was the generic that just said class wrap up, that one you could use all the time. That one's just just text on a thing. So.
I didn't know the part about the background, like being able to put the picture behind the text that's already on there.
Oh yeah, because that's annoying when you lose something and it's back there.
Like grab it back and do a text box over it.
Yeah.
So that was a good tip.
Cool. Well, I'm glad everybody joined. Sorry, I kept you 3 minutes over. Please don't report me to the association. Yeah, I owe you, and I didn't even make popcorn today. Wow. All right, rock on. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, Lana. Happy you're there. And even if you have colleagues for future weeks that don't have Chromebooks, if they just want to come to see and get ideas, it's okay.
I didn't know Google Drawing existed, so.
Hey, swagger.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Thank you. It's good to see you. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right. So I guess that's it. I guess we're calling it a wrap.
A wrap.
And
Wrap for a wrap.
boom. Oh, and I should stop I forgot I'm doing.